Image handling. So now you guys get to put your hands back on your keyboards, and let's go ahead and we're going to first add a file field, and then we're going to resize both the regular file field and the binary field. So you understand how to resize both, and there's different pathing issues for them. So first, come here to your content type. Filter by regular content type under types and tags, content types. Filter this search box here to regular content. Okay. Then maybe you want to go ahead and type in your own name, first name, and click search so you find the right content types. I need to put in movies because I changed the name of my content type. So I'm going to go here to movies, and we're going to add a new field. We already have the binary field called poster, but now we're going to go ahead and add another one. So add a new field, and this time instead of binary, we're going to choose file. So if you look, binary, file, image, and file are all together. So let's go ahead and pick image, actually. So image, and let's call this screenshot. Like a screenshot from, from the movies. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is we want to say, next thing we want to do is we want to say, add to our content at least one of our, images. I'm going to pick Guardians of the Galaxy here. We need to add an image, right? So I've got the poster. Now I need a screenshot from Guardians. So I'm going to click Browse, and this is a different field. The binary field, you upload it directly, and then you can edit the image right there. You can crop it, you could grayscale it, you can do all sorts of stuff. This is going to attach an externally located file. Now, if you say which one's better, neither. It depends upon what you're using the files for. If you're uploading a whole bunch of images of cars for a car dealership, and then later you want to take all of the cars in the whole dealership and you want to create a photo gallery out of them, then I would use a file field because you're exporting them to a specific folder on the browser tree, and then you could use the photo gallery widget and just pass a path to a file and say create a randomized photo gallery or something like that. But if you're like my documentation site, I'm never going to create a photo gallery out of documentation images. No way. That would be ugly anyway. And then I want my people who are actually changing the photos on my documentation to do it right in the documentation while they're looking at the rest of the text. So to me, there's no reason that would ever be an image or a file field. It would always be a binary field where they edit it there, save it there, and then it automatically changes the doc immediately. They don't have to go to the code. They don't have to go to the WYSIWYG. They just, it's automatically being pulled into the documentation where it needs to be, right? So this is how you upload using an image field a brand new file. So click the little plus sign to the left side of demo.cms.com. That should expand. A plus sign to the left of training, a plus sign to the left of your particular folder, and then click on the images directory, and then you should have a few images already here. But if your image that you're trying to upload isn't one that's already uploaded to this particular folder, let's go ahead and upload a brand new one, then connect it to this content. So upload a new one, select the files to upload, and then I'll pick something from my desktop here. So desktop, demo, where's my movies? Thought I had a movies directory over here. Posters, Guardians. There we go. I got a screenshot from Guardians over here. I'll use that one. And save and publish. Okay, so now I've uploaded it to the folder. Now to connect it to the content, after I've uploaded it to the folder using this window, then I click on photo 1 there, and then it adds it, right? But this is, if you look at the pathing to these two files, if I click on info, this is giving me a shorty URL, I'll copy those in the text wrangler so we can look at the difference. Do a new. So this is the way I can reference Guardians, and I can hit that, and it's giving me a shorty of the ID on the binary field. Oh no, it's giving me a shorty on the ID of the content type, and then you put the name of the field on the content type, and then the actual extension. So that's the way you can reach binary fields. And then this one is completely different. This is training Dean G images photo 1, and you can reach that directly, and we could hit that in the URL right after the domain. So they're both stored in the same location as far as dotCMS is concerned and in the assets directory, but the way you would path a image link is a little bit different, right? So now save and publish, lock for editing. Oh, I don't want to assign a little workflow. I want to save and publish at least your one movie with both poster and screenshot. You could do a config that only allows certain maximum on file size. We used to have it in the system. I think we took it out, but the remnants of that code is still there, and you could go ahead and do a small minor customization. Now, if you didn't want that, if you did a REST API form to submit the content, then you could actually, on success, you could, on upload, you could go ahead and reject afterwards if you can get from the metadata, right? Like right here, we already went ahead and uploaded this because to attach a file, you need to first upload it, then select it. And you could have a custom field that'll take that file. If we look at the metadata, there is size down here somewhere, file size. So you could validate it with some JavaScript inside of a custom field, make where they're applying the image a custom field, and then on upload to the browser, you could say, sorry, this connected file that you're trying to connect to this custom field is over a certain file size. You need to edit it, and and then at least they wouldn't be able to connect it to the content. You could handle it that way. Reject it through a REST API call. You could reject it here in the UI using a custom field, which we're about to get into today, to show you how to inject your JavaScript and everything like that, and do your code in a custom field. So there's a variety of different ways to do that. Of course, just training them to do the right thing helps, but that's not enough. So we'll look at custom fields in just a little bit. But there isn't a default, whenever you throw a file field in, there is a maximum. That might be a good idea for a customization, though, so that whenever you're actually adding, I like that for a addition. So that if we did this here, the second we throw, I would do it for binary, file, or image. You could, here in the properties, you could add another property and say limit the file size, and it wouldn't allow you to upload. I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to submit the, it wouldn't be hard to do either. File size, upload, limit as property of binary, file, or image fields. And that way, webmasters could control on a field by field basis upload size. You could actually add from the metadata of the file you're uploading, since image fields you upload to externally first. You could, before it gets stored to the field, you could also add a image width restriction or height restriction or both. so that they would have to go to the image, and before they would be able to upload the image to the browser anyway. I wouldn't be totally draconian, but I would allow them to upload it. But then before they could attach the photo to the content that I'm trying to use a image field for, it could check, because not only do we have the size, we have the width here and the height here. So we could say crop your stuff, and then we'll allow it. Or maybe we wouldn't even want them to do that, because then they'll probably do weird stuff to the images. I think cropping should probably be just programmatically handled by you, which is what we're about to do. But definitely on the file size, I guess, and then you train them how to crunch down their images to an appropriate size. And they could still do that in the image editor, change the width, because that's right here, just in case I haven't shown that here. So if I wanted to edit this file asset here in the image editor on the back end, take a second for it to load in. If the file was too big, they could do it right here. They'd have to step outside of the content, the movie content, right? Oh, is Chrome giving another? Oh, okay, good. It's just a big file. Okay, so now we can go ahead and say, instead of resize 1400 by 900, I want it to be only 800, right? And then just click resize, and now it's resizing, resampling. And then they could click save, lock for editing, save publish on the file, and then they could go back to the movie content and add the screenshot. But it would reject it if it was too large a file size. Yeah, I think file size is enough. Make sense? I'm going to put that in. That shouldn't actually be so horrible an addition for an improvement. I like it. Okay, so we are going to get out of the wrong agenda and resize these fields that we've uploaded. So we're going to get into our code inside of our field, which I think we could just go to the detail. So we want to go to our movies page, right? So we get our listing, and then click on the one that you added the screenshot for. Click on that one so that we in the back end we're loading this movie, and then this is where we can show those two posters resized. Okay. So if we are all here, let me just consult my Evernote here, and we'll look at some doc. Type in resize. Okay. So let's just go to the doc, and we'll get the best way to do this. And I think in just building themes, images, yeah, and building sites, which is a great first section to look at. There is image handling. And here in the image handling, there's displaying content with binary and image fields, image resizing and processing. I think I have to add the shorty. Oh, okay. No, the shorty's there. Okay, so we are going to resize. So we're going to look at the pathing for resizing, and I need to get back to the movie detail page code. So I'm going to go to movies, click on that movie, and now I'm on the page loading up this widget. I'm going to edit that widget, grab this code out. So get your detail page code, and I'll just move that down for right now and paste that in here. And this is what we all should kind of have for we get our URL mapped content, and then we show a few fields. Now we're going to show both our poster field resized and our image field called screenshot resized as well. So we're definitely, we can just start out with a DA. that. So for our, we're going to put in here a couple of image source links. Let's just go ahead and do p tags and not worry about styling at all. So do a couple of p tags in here after maybe this shorty URL before the movie description. And here we can do poster. And screenshot. And we'll make the poster maybe 200. And the screenshot, we'll resize that at 400. Okay. And then we're going to put our code right here. So I'm just going to put an image source link here and here. Okay. And so how do we handle these two different types of field? So let me move this out of the way, and I'm just going to supply those image source links. Then I'll go ahead and I'll paste to you what I've got. And you can put it in. So I'm going to have to move this out of the way for just a second. I'll move it right back. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go to consult the documentation. And it says a file asset. So a file asset is something you upload to the dotCMS. And that's, we actually, binary content with display of image field. Yeah, I even put screenshot down here. So so we'll get to that, the screenshot in a second. We're going to skip down. This is if you're just trying to reference a file and it's not inside of a piece of content. So that's what this first one, well, this first one is. You know, that first example. You're just trying to get something that's on the file tree. Here is an example of pulling a binary field inside of a piece of content. So what we want is that pathing that we saw was, you know, that you could hit. So we want the shorty ID, the DA, shorty ID, the name of the field, and then the image. So, and the resize. So this is our example, shorty URL, right? And that produces this, and then our whatever, and our resize. So I'm going to copy that pathing, stick that inside here, but obviously it's not news item, right? It is the name of my content type, which I'm going to have to get from the back end here. I'll open up my content types in a new tab so I don't have to go away from my code field. Open up my content type, and then I can see that that's a poster, but what is my property name? So it's Dean G Movies, right? Or you could just look right, yeah. Here you see Dean G Movies, you know, and you guys could get it from there as well. So now Dean G Movies dot poster, right? Poster dot shorty URL, and then the width is 200. So 200 width, and then of course I'm going to refer to my variable with the proper $ bang and then curly brace. Then I'm going to copy that, paste that in here for my screenshot, but my screenshot is going to be a little different. My source link. I'll move it out of the way and I'll put it right back, I promise. Here in the documentation. So now we go down here to, we've got the poster, now we need this guy, which is, this is what I need for my image, and then that's just news item.screenshot.shorty URL. Right. And that should be fine. It's going to give me a different ID is all, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. So here, oops, wrong thing. Here, screenshot, shorty URL, and this time we're going to resize at 400. Right, and that is right on the resizing, right? Yes. Good, good, good. Now, yeah. All right, so let's copy that. And then go to my code field here, paste that in, lock for editing, and see if we work. Did something here. What is wrong with my SourceLink? Adam, what I do? Shift. You see anything syntactically there that I screwed up on? DG movies, poster, screenshot. Oh, what's wrong with that? Everything wrong there. Okay. Sorry, guys. We're in our URL mapped content. We're not in the middle of a pull. So for all of us, it shouldn't be the name of our content type. It should just be movies. And everybody, it should be the same thing, because I think we all had the code that we set the URL mapped content to movie, right? So actually, it's not movies, it's movie, right? That should help. Lock for editing, save and publish, and if that works, then I'll go ahead and put it. What? Let's see, is it just my image source link? Doing something wrong there. Let me just throw this like this. Why are you not? That shouldn't be an error. Movie. Oh. Yeah, it was the curly brace, so let me do that. The curly brace needs to be inside. There we go. Right, because that is the velocity variable name ends with shorty URL. And then this is just part of the URL call. You know, we're just attaching something at the end. So I was trying to get the shorty URL property from the content type with /200 width and /400 width. That doesn't work. Okay, this should be good. Come on, just work. Yay. All right, so let me put the code back up, and then you can adjust. And text wrangler. Okay, now that's right.